Chosen one, this message did not arrive by chance, algorithm, or coincidence. It came because heaven marked you for this moment. Before you pressed play, before your eyes landed on these words, God already knew you would be here. This Christmas is not passing you by like seasons before it. It is not blending into routine or fading into memory. It has been set apart, carved out, and saturated with intention. While others see dates on a calendar, heaven sees alignment. While the world celebrates outwardly, God is speaking inwardly, directly to you. This is not a general holiday encouragement. This is a divine interruption, a holy pause, a moment where eternity leans into time and calls you by name. You may not feel extraordinary right now. You may even feel tired, quiet, or overlooked. But that is precisely why this message found you. God often speaks loudest when life feels still. This Christmas carries a prophetic precision that cannot be replicated. The timing is exact. The alignment is intentional. Nothing about this is random. Heaven has been watching your steps, your endurance, your private obedience, and your silent prayers. And now God is saying, stop scrolling. Stop doubting. Stop minimizing this moment. Because this Christmas is not ordinary, it is sacred. It is marked. It is appointed. This message is not here to entertain you. It is here to awaken you, to remind you that even when you felt unseen, heaven was attentive. Even when you thought nothing was moving, things were aligning. This is how God works, quietly, deliberately, without asking permission from circumstances. And now, as this season unfolds, God says, this is not by accident. This is not late. This is not delayed. This is on time. What if this Christmas is not about what you receive in your hands, but what is released in your spirit? Beneath the lights, the songs, the rituals, and the traditions, something spiritual has been unfolding all along. While the world exchanges gifts wrapped in paper, heaven has been preparing gifts wrapped in purpose. You see, God does not rush sacred things. He prepares them. He develops them. He times them. And all year long, through seasons you didn't understand, God was storing something specifically for this moment. This is why expectations may have shifted for you. You stopped hoping the way you used to. You stopped anticipating the way you once did. Not because you lost faith, but because God was teaching you timing over fantasy. What heaven gives does not always arrive how we imagine, but it always arrives when it can be sustained. This Christmas is not about surprise, it is about readiness. Not about excess, but alignment. Not about performance, but presence. You may look around and think, this doesn't look special yet. But God says the greatest gifts are often invisible before they manifest. Some blessings arrive as clarity, some as peace, some as positioning, and some as sudden doors that only open when you are spiritually prepared to walk through them. Heaven's gifts are not loud. They are weighty. They do not shout. They settle. And this season, God says what He prepared for you has matured. It is ripe. It is ready. And it will not arrive too early or too late, only on time. Chosen one, do not treat this message passively. Heaven responds to agreement. Words are not just sound, they are spiritual instruments. When you listen with expectation, you create alignment. When you speak with faith, you activate movement. This is why God calls you to stay until the end. Not for retention, but for completion. Because some blessings are unlocked through endurance, not speed. When you declare amen, you are not commenting, you are consenting. You are saying, I align with this word. I receive this truth. I agree with heaven's declaration over my life. And when you add intention, when you declare alignment boldly, you shift atmospheres. Faith is not silent. It vibrates. It resonates. It moves things unseen. This is why engagement matters. Not for visibility, but for spiritual activation. Heaven responds to posture. And right now, your posture is being adjusted from watching to receiving, from listening to agreeing, from waiting to aligning. This is not superstition. This is spiritual law. What you speak with faith gains permission to manifest. So if this word is for you, do not sit quietly. Align boldly. Heaven is listening. The waiting season has expired. The countdown has ended. The corridor has opened. What you are entering now is not struggle. It is reception. Not striving, but arrival. God calls this the delivery zone. The place where what was prepared privately begins appearing publicly. You are no longer circling the promise. You are stepping into it. This is why things feel different. Why resistance is weakening. Why clarity is increasing. Why you feel less frantic and more grounded. Miracles do not always announce themselves. Sometimes they simply arrive when you are ready to carry them. And now, God says, you are ready. This season is not about effort. It is about allowance. Gifts are arriving without striving. Opportunities are aligning without forcing. Favor is moving ahead of you, softening places you haven't even reached yet. You are not chasing, you are receiving. This is what happens when preparation meets timing. And this Christmas, Heaven says, step forward. You wondered why it took so long. Why prayers echoed without response. Why silence lasted longer than expected. But God says the delay was not denial, it was development. Some blessings would have broken you if they arrived earlier. Some doors would have distracted you if they opened too soon. Waiting was not punishment, it was protection. Through endurance, God increased your capacity. Through silence, He deepened your discernment. Through doubt, He purified your faith. The weight of what you are about to receive required a version of you that did not exist before the waiting. And now, because you stayed, because you endured, because you didn't quit, the gift is heavier, richer, fuller. What arrives late carries more meaning. And this Christmas, God says, the wait has given this blessing weight. Chosen one, there are chapters of your story that only Heaven has read. Pages soaked with tears no one wiped. Prayers whispered so quietly that even you wondered if they still carried faith. Strength summoned on days when quitting would have made more sense than continuing. God says none of it was wasted. None of it went unnoticed. While the world applauds visible victories, Heaven counts endurance. While people celebrate outcomes, God honors consistency. You showed up when no one was watching. You remained faithful when results were delayed. You kept believing when logic told you to stop. And now God says, I saw you. There were moments you questioned if your obedience mattered, if your restraint was foolish, if your kindness went unrewarded. But God was taking note of every decision made in secret. Every time you chose integrity over convenience. Every time you stayed loyal when walking away would have been easier. Heaven does not forget faithfulness practiced in obscurity. In fact, obscurity is often the training ground for elevation. God says your unseen sacrifices created spiritual equity. Your quiet obedience stored up authority. Your persistence shaped character strong enough to sustain what is coming. This Christmas, God is not just giving you something, He is acknowledging you. He is affirming that your endurance mattered, that your faith counted, that your loyalty was recorded. And because you remained faithful in the unseen, God says He can now trust you in the visible. This season marks the transition from unnoticed to acknowledged, from overlooked to honored, from hidden to recognized. Heaven is responding to the faith you practiced when no one else believed in you. There are movements taking place right now that you cannot see, but you can feel. A subtle shift, a quiet momentum, a sense that something unseen is rearranging itself. God says this is not imagination, it is alignment. The spiritual realm is active. Angels have been dispatched. Assignments have been activated. Your name has been spoken in places you've never entered physically. Conversations are happening on your behalf without your involvement. Favor is negotiating where effort never could. What was sealed is being unlocked. What was delayed is being released. What was blocked is being rerouted. God says the alignment occurring now is precise, not chaotic. Nothing is out of order. Nothing is misplaced. Even what you thought was lost has been preserved. Heaven is efficient. When God moves, He wastes nothing. This is why things are falling into place without explanation. Why connections feel divinely timed. Why opportunities feel effortless instead of exhausting. Angels respond to assignments, not noise. And your season of quiet obedience gave heaven legal permission to move. You didn't have to announce yourself. God did it for you. You didn't have to force doors. Heaven opened them. This Christmas, the spiritual realm is not observing, it is intervening. And God says what is activating now cannot be reversed because it was authorized above. This season marks a profound identity shift. You are no longer just waiting for blessings, you are becoming one. God says wherever you go, atmospheres change. Conversations shift. Rooms respond. You carry something now that you didn't before. Not because you tried harder, but because you were transformed deeper. Your presence holds weight. Your words carry authority. Your silence speaks confidence. You are walking into spaces differently. Less anxious, less desperate, less reactive. That is because God has crowned you internally before elevating you externally. This Christmas is not just about receiving gifts, it is about unveiling who you have become. You are an atmosphere shifter, a peace carrier, a stabilizer. People will feel calm around you without knowing why. Doors will open because your energy aligns with destiny. God says you are not stepping into this season empty-handed. You are stepping in full of wisdom, full of discernment, full of authority earned through endurance. This is why you no longer need validation. You are validated by alignment. You no longer need approval. You are approved by heaven. And this Christmas, God says, you are not just blessed, you are the blessing. What begins now will not arrive alone. One breakthrough will unlock another. One yes will activate multiple doors. God says this is a layered release, a divine avalanche. Not chaotic, but comprehensive. Areas that remained dry will suddenly experience overflow. Conversations that stalled will resume. Silence will break. Delays will dissolve. What once required effort will now respond to alignment. This season replaces struggle with synchronization. You will notice things happening faster than expected, not because time accelerated, but because resistance has been removed. God says you are entering a flow state where preparation meets opportunity and favor does the heavy lifting. You are no longer pushing uphill. You are moving with momentum. What felt stuck was not permanent, it was positioned. And now, heaven says, watch how quickly things move once alignment is complete. This is not just breakthrough, it is continuity. Blessings that stack. Progress that compounds. Peace that remains. The weight you carried was not random. The pressure you endured was not accidental. God says pressure was confirmation, not punishment. Only valuable things experience resistance. Only destined paths encounter opposition. Every no redirected you. Every closed door protected you. Every disappointment refined you. Discomfort prepared you. Delay shielded you. Rejection preserved you. God says what felt like obstruction was actually insulation. You are being protected from premature exposure, misaligned partnerships, and counterfeit opportunities. And now, because you endured the pressure without losing your character, heaven trusts you with elevation. This Christmas, God says, the pressure validated the purpose. And the purpose is now ready to be revealed. Chosen one, this Christmas is not merely about what is placed into your hands. It is about what is placed upon your head. God says this is a season of crowning. While the world celebrates exchange, heaven celebrates elevation. You are not just receiving gifts. You are being entrusted with responsibility, authority, and visibility that reflects your growth. A crown is not decoration, it is recognition. Recognition that you have matured, that you have endured, that you can now steward what once would have overwhelmed you. This is why things feel weightier now, why joy feels deeper, why peace feels more solid. You are stepping into a spiritual elevation where your presence carries influence without you needing to announce it. What was unseen is becoming visible. What was whispered is becoming acknowledged. God says this is exposure without exploitation, elevation without corruption. He preserved you in obscurity so you would not be consumed by visibility. And now, because your heart is aligned, your promotion will not cost you your peace. This crowning is internal before it is external. Confidence without arrogance. Authority without aggression. Strength without hardness. God is placing presence over presence, because presence sustains what presence cannot. This Christmas, heaven says, where what you've been prepared for, you spent seasons being overlooked, passed over, ignored. But God says you were not rejected, you were preserved. Preservation looks like delay to the untrained eye, but heaven knows how to hide what it plans to reveal later. You did not miss your moment. You are being protected from premature exposure. Now, recognition is arriving naturally, without chasing, without forcing, without self-promotion. Light does not need permission to shine. And what God placed inside you cannot remain hidden forever. You are being noticed without seeking attention, valued without requesting validation, affirmed without asking for approval. This is what happens when glory reveals itself in God's timing. He defends your rise so you don't have to defend yourself. This Christmas, God says your vindication will be quiet but undeniable. Those who overlooked you will witness your elevation without explanation. Not because you proved them wrong, but because God revealed the truth. Recognition that arrives this way lasts. It does not fluctuate with opinion. It is anchored in alignment. You questioned why certain doors closed abruptly, why opportunities vanished, why people exited your life without closure. God says none of it was random. Those doors were not closing against you, they were closing for you. Some paths would have drained you. Some relationships would have limited you. Some opportunities would have diluted what was coded to your name. Divine redirection feels like loss in the moment, but it is preservation in disguise. God says the blessings reserved for you required separation from what could not go with you. Not everyone who clapped for you was assigned to walk with you. Not every open door was aligned with your destiny. And now, because you allowed God to redirect you, what is reserved can finally be released. This Christmas, God says you will understand why it had to happen that way, why the detours mattered, why the endings were necessary. What was protected is now prepared to arrive. What is coming to you will not arrive with chaos. It will not demand desperation. It will not cost you your peace. God says blessings that come from Him arrive with clarity, with calm, with confidence. You will recognize what is meant for you by how it feels, not rushed, not forced, not confusing. There is a sacred, quiet confidence settling over you. A knowing that doesn't need explanation. A certainty that doesn't require validation. Grace is replacing force. Alignment is replacing anxiety. You are no longer fighting for what belongs to you, it is finding you. Recognition will come through resonance. People will feel aligned with you instinctively. Opportunities will fit instead of stretch you. God says this is the fruit of patience. What arrives this way remains. This Christmas is not just another chapter, it is punctuation. An ending and a beginning wrapped together. God says old cycles are closing permanently. Patterns are breaking. Delays are expiring. Heaven's calendar is overriding the world's timeline. What felt stuck under human timing is now released under divine authority. This season marks a turning point you will reference later and say, that was the moment everything changed. Not dramatically, not loudly, but decisively. This Christmas stands as a marker, a before and after. God says the page has turned. The sentence is complete. And a new chapter has begun. Chosen one, there is a moment when faith crosses a threshold and becomes experience. God says you are standing at that threshold now. What once lived only in prayer is beginning to take form. What once existed only as a vision is stepping into physical reality. This is not imagination. This is manifestation. Not rushed, not forced, not dramatic, but steady, undeniable, and real. Heaven does not tease. When God initiates manifestation, it is because preparation is complete. For a long time, your work was internal. Healing where no one clapped. Growth no one congratulated. Surrender that felt lonely. You wrestled with yourself, released old identities, forgave without apology, and learned how to rest without guilt. God says that inner work is now finished. And when inner alignment is complete, the outer world must respond. Reality reorganizes itself around a soul that is aligned with truth. You will begin to notice prayers becoming practical, opportunities forming naturally, resources appearing without strain, conversations shifting in your favor. This is not coincidence. This is convergence. Heaven and earth meeting. What you once begged for, you now receive with calm gratitude. Because desperation has been replaced with trust. Striving with surrender. Anxiety with expectation. God says manifestation does not always arrive as fireworks. Sometimes it arrives as stability, as consistency, as peace that holds, as provision that remains. This is the kind of blessing that does not evaporate after excitement fades. This is substance. This is sustainability. This is God saying, you are ready to live what you once only prayed for. As you step into this new level, God is repositioning people, places, and pathways around you. You may notice past connections resurfacing, not randomly, but purposefully. Conversations restarting. Doors reopening. Opportunities returning, but with a different tone, a different structure, a different outcome. God says you are not revisiting the past, you are reclaiming what could not come with you before. Repositioning does not mean regression. It means alignment. Some things had to wait until you became who you are now. Some connections required your growth before they could function healthily. Some doors could only open once your discernment matured. This is why reconnection feels different, calmer, clearer, less emotional, more intentional. God is also removing what no longer fits, gently, quietly, without chaos. You are no longer forcing compatibility. You are no longer negotiating your worth. You are no longer chasing alignment. Flow has replaced friction. And this is how you know it is God, because nothing needs to be manipulated. This season is marked by divine efficiency. Everything is finding its rightful place. What belongs will stay. What doesn't will drift away without drama. God says, trust the repositioning. It is not loss. It is order. There is a distinct signature that accompanies God's movement: peace without proof, calm amid acceleration, stability even as things change quickly. God says this is how you will know it is Him. You are not frantic. You are not anxious. You are not chasing confirmation. You are simply moving forward with quiet confidence. Fear no longer drives your decisions. Faith does. And not loud faith, settled faith. The kind that doesn't need validation. The kind that doesn't argue with doubt. The kind that knows when to move and when to rest. This is maturity. This is discernment. This is alignment. You are rising without rushing, expanding without losing yourself, receiving without guilt. God says when blessings come from Him, they do not disturb your spirit. They anchor it. And this season, your spirit feels anchored. This is not hype. This is harmony. Not pressure, peace. And peace is proof of divine authorship. You wondered why this year felt so heavy. Why responsibilities increased. Why solitude deepened. Why joy was quieter. God says it was preparation for visibility. Platforms are not just stages. They are weight-bearing spaces. And only those refined privately can stand publicly without breaking. Every sacrifice you made when no one noticed was building capacity. Every time you chose obedience over convenience, integrity over applause, growth over comfort, heaven was recording it. Private discipline produces public authority. Quiet obedience produces lasting influence. God says what is coming will not overwhelm you because you were prepared for it. You learned how to hear Him without noise, how to move without approval, how to stand without applause. That is why your reward will last. It is built on foundation, not hype. This Christmas, God says, you are not stepping onto a platform, you are stepping into purpose. There is a soul-level recognition happening now. A deep knowing that says, this is it. This is the moment. This is the arrival. Not loud, not boastful, but certain. You are no longer explaining yourself, no longer shrinking, no longer apologizing for your growth. You are receiving without justification, walking in quiet power, occupying space without guilt. God says this is holy arrival, when you no longer ask permission to be who He called you to be. When you stop waiting for signs because you have become aligned with truth. This Christmas is not about becoming someone new. It is about fully arriving as who you were always meant to be. And God says, do not shrink. Do not hesitate. Do not apologize, chosen one, as you move forward from this moment. God says you will not walk blindly. Heaven has already gone ahead of you, leaving markers along the path. Signs will begin to appear, not loud miracles meant to impress others, but precise confirmations meant to reassure you. Numbers repeating at the exact moment you are questioning. Conversations that answer prayers you never voiced aloud. Dreams that feel instructional rather than symbolic. Songs, words, names, places, all aligning with uncanny precision. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Spiritual breadcrumbs guiding you from one door to the next. God knows your heart needs reassurance, not spectacle. He knows you value clarity over chaos. And so He speaks in ways that settle you, not overwhelm you. Each sign will whisper, you are on the right path. Keep going. You are learning to recognize God's language, subtle, personal, unmistakable. What once confused you will now feel familiar. Discernment sharpens when alignment deepens. You will no longer question every sign. You will simply acknowledge and move. God says the guidance is not meant to distract you, it is meant to direct you. Follow the peace. Follow the resonance. Follow what feels anchored, not urgent. For a while, the changes will feel subtle. Gentle adjustments. Small openings. Quiet momentum. But God says do not underestimate the subtle. It is how He prepares the sudden. One moment, you will realize how much has shifted without noise. And then suddenly, acceleration. Whispers turn into waves. Ease replaces resistance. Favor steps in where effort once struggled. This is the divine pattern. God does not shock your system, He aligns it. And once alignment is complete, release becomes rapid. You will look back and realize how quickly everything moved once the resistance was removed. Doors will open faster than expected. Decisions will become clearer. Results will follow consistency. Favor will begin doing what striving never could. Introducing you to the right people at the right time. Positioning you in rooms without you asking. Making space for you without you forcing entry. God says this is not luck, it is leverage. Spiritual leverage earned through patience, integrity, and obedience. There is an internal shift happening now that changes how you move forever. You are no longer waiting for permission. No longer scanning for signs. No longer asking, is it time? God says you have crossed from waiting to arriving. You are no longer seeking evidence. You are becoming it. Your confidence is no longer loud. It is rooted, calm, unshakable. You know who you are even when no one is watching. You know where you are going, even when the path is still unfolding. You walk as evidence of grace, not perfection, but alignment. This is the confidence that does not rush, does not compete, does not compare. It simply moves forward. God says when you walk this way, doors recognize you. Opportunities respond to you. People sense something different about you. Not arrogance, assurance. Not ego, authority. You have become the sign you once asked for. This season carries restoration across every layer of your life. Peace of mind where anxiety once lived. Stability where uncertainty dominated. Clarity where confusion lingered. God says restoration is not just returning what was lost, it is upgrading what was damaged. Your mind is being restored. Your confidence recalibrated. Your joy stabilized. Your faith fortified. You will notice that things that once triggered you no longer control you. Situations that once drained you no longer have access. This is healing in motion. God says this is full-spectrum blessing, emotional, spiritual, relational, practical. Nothing missing. Nothing broken. Nothing delayed. You are stepping into a season where you no longer survive, you sustain. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer fear, you trust. This restoration is quiet but complete. And it will last. Chosen one, hear this clearly and without hesitation. These are for you, not borrowed, not temporary, not conditional. What God is releasing now carries His seal. No blockage, no reversal, no cancellation. No one can intercept what heaven assigned to your name. No delay can outlast divine timing. No opposition can override God's authorization. This season is sealed, marked, protected. What opens will remain open. What begins will be sustained. What arrives will not leave prematurely. God says you are entering this next chapter with authority, assurance, and peace, not begging, not proving, not shrinking, but standing aligned, ready, and confident. This Christmas is your turning point, your arrival, your confirmation, and heaven declares one final time, these are for you.